Howdy, and welcome to the round table for Red Dirt D&D. I'm Michael Cross.
Connor Shenold.
Aiden Cross.
Kiri Hester.
Johnny Payne.
Brooke Bullock.
Kim Cross.
And wow, what some great episodes there. Episodes 17 through 20.
God. Wow, we're already to episode 20. So
I know. How nice is it that we stay on even numbers now?
I know. Well, as long as Johnny doesn't get COVID, we're fine.
Knock on wood.
You did 2 times you got it. Twice. Oh, don't do that.
The book ended that year with COVID. Yes. So at the beginning and the end.
We had a lot of fun. 17 and 18 were mine. I got to finish those out.
Yes.
19 and 20 was Johnny's. We got to go a little bit further into the Ironwoods.
And
so let's start it out with episode 17. Y'all stuck in a sanatorium.
Yeah.
we meet a new friend.
The coffee there was crap.
And no television.
You found the coffee?
Nothing. Why do you think they call me Twitch? What the hell was that?
It's too early for this.
Wow.
Weird giggle.
Did we mention the time change?
Folks, we are recording this the day of daylight saving time. So
Everybody write an email to your senator.
Thank them for helping you save on oil, lantern oil.
Yes, it's an important thing.
yes, we have no reason for this, and hopefully this will be. If I understand, there is a bill out there that this will be the second to the last time that we do this.
I think that's correct.
If they
We'll
pass
see.
it, we jump back next fall, and then next spring would be jumping forward one last time.
Right.
I would rather fall back because I get more sleep.
One more time, and that's the end of it.
I think
Yeah,
daylight
exactly.
standard time is actually better as well, but I don't care. It's like just stop going back and forth. That makes no sense. Like, yeah. Pick one. Choose a seat and pick one.
We're working for a software company on daylight savings time. Tomorrow is going to be a wreck because there's so much. It's like, oh, we didn't script in daylight savings time and that new stuff we've done all year. Yeah.
Well, the biggest problem with software companies is for the longest time, I mean, since they passed it, it was always the same days. And then George W. Bush decided, hey, let's push it back in November and push it back in spring.
Yes,
So
weird.
now all the computers that are already set for certain dates had to be rewritten.
Yeah.
Now many of them have been fixed, but yes.
I mean, listen, we all know the panic from Y2K.
Y2K,
that
that's
That's over from Y2K. I do. My mother does.
All I know is that they left the lights on in the sanatorium, so you never knew what time it was.
Right?
Yeah, it's just to disturb you. That big rock in the thing. Well, so we did have a new person, and a question from one of our patrons, Alaxador, Andrew,
Yay.
Nightmare, to Kim.
Hey.
How was it joining this cast?
Oh my goodness, it was so wonderful. Of course, I've listened to all of the episodes so many times because they're so good. I just have to go back and listen to them several times a week. And having the opportunity to actually join this cast, I was nervous because I didn't want to mess it up. It's so wonderful to begin with.
Brooke hasn't done it yet. You're fine.
Oh, but sitting down here, everybody was so welcoming and just made it a lot of fun. I've always listened to those outtakes and all of the laughter and thought, oh my goodness, that's got to be such a hoot sitting in there. And now I totally understand the laugh until your mascara's running and your stomach hurts. So.
You even had a little bit of a Connor experience because Connor, for a while, you
I
way
was the
back in
new
the beginning,
one.
you had to sit off to the side.
Yeah.
And so you got to experience that too, where for a little bit you were just off to the side.
I did. When you recorded the round table last time, there was no way I was going to be anywhere near the mic and be able to control myself. So, yeah, I had pushed the chair all the way over, almost out of the room. So, and had to literally cover my mouth several times because, trying to keep me from responding or just giggling. Yeah.
It reminded me of those early days quite
Yeah,
a bit.
way back when.
When Connor was in the bag.
Yeah, I was sitting off in the corner doing my own thing, being the antisocial person
As
that I
good as
am.
refills and shoulder rubs.
Yeah, and just hearing them like play through stuff is so funny, and you have to like not laugh out loud so you don't get caught up on the mic.
Right?
Campaign 2 is a little looser.
looser.
We can play with some laughter in the background with this one, but yeah.
And so another question was, how did it feel hearing that your friend Blackjack had died?
I think I mentioned this in the last round table, but I was just thrilled at your expertise in reworking some of our backstories, right? Where you took those things about Jaska and Gideon, you took those things about Twitch and his isolation, his bullies, and then with Blackjack, just to have him like dead. Yeah. I don't remember if I said it on mic or not, but I would have had a George Lucas rewrite moment in that when the tunnel, we're being led out by the orderlies from Dr. Alucard's office the first time in the tunnel, and it shifts into that tunnel. I would have reworked that and had Zionsi yelling for Blackjack as he ran, because that was a thing. We see it too in the final battle with Alucard, where Zionsi should stay back. He should stay, but instead he runs directly toward the enclosure, the coffin, the
Snow White coffin.
The Snow White coffin. That's what I see in my head, right?
Me too.
Exactly. Is the Snow White coffin. He gets right up there in between those two cultists, and it's a mechanical problem for him. Until was it Jaska that did the fairy fire?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then that gave me advantage, so that was nice.
That's why you're not Rogue anymore.
Right, at that time, still Rogan, right?
Yeah.
So.
And we will get to that point as well. So you got trapped. We got to do a little tongue twister.
So great.
Oh my
gosh.
goodness.
I can breathe.
That was so much fun.
I love the outtake of Billy on that. Like, when the Elo does a healing. I mean,
He doesn't really do H's.
Oh, it was fantastic.
With
It was
his
so
accent.
wonderful.
Michael had us roll to randomize which tongue twister we would get, and I get the longest one. I have Billy's character voice is probably the farthest departed from my natural speaking voice, except maybe Zionsi, but you weren't using Zionsi's voice at the time. And so it was, just all H's. I was like, this is great. This is how Billy talks. There's no H's. When an eeler does the eeling.
It just cracked me up. And should I pull back this curtain? I know the listeners will never believe this, but we didn't all do it perfectly the very first time. I know it's shocking.
The beauty of editing.
It's like I had to
You
run
didn't
through
have to
mine,
listen to us flub it up a couple of times.
The great part of that was when we started out with I was going to do it in the paper, and so my first one, I looked at okay, and Beatrix rolled that one. Okay, Beatrix, and Kimberly just gave me the look.
Really?
still nervous
Give
about
me
being
the
on the
wife
mic.
stare. I'm like, you know what? Let's go for Billy. And then I realized how long Billy is as well. I'm like, no, I can't do Billy.
It was sheer
Zionsi,
panic.
get it done.
Who did you end up starting with? I forgot.
Zionsi.
I ended up with
And of course, the way I
gobbling
edited,
gargoyles.
it just sounds like we just went straight to
Yeah.
Beyonce. No one knows until you listen to the rest.
Until you listen to the outtakes.
Yeah. I was like reading mine in slow motion, so I wouldn't. have to-
Same, but Jessica talks a little slower anyway, so I was like,
I found for me, I just had to, and I don't know, as an English teacher, Brooke may be able to kind of get into this. You get a point, especially when you're reading to kids and you're reading the same short story maybe a few times a day, where you no longer have to think about reading. Your mouth and eyes are reading and your brain can do something else. I had to specifically not think about the words and just read them, because if I thought about them, I was going to mess it up.
Well, that's one of the things I noticed. Like Johnny, your acting chops came out, and it really looked like you had memorized that dude in 2 minutes.
I was going to say script rewrites, Michael.
I'm so sad we don't have cameras here to visualize the little shimmy that Johnny did for Saucy.
Yes! Oh, it was brilliant.
I swear, there's some points where I should pull out my phone and start recording you guys at some points. 'Cause it's just great.
It would be great Instagram content.
Yeah, we had. So before that, though, we did actually get back with having Charlie come in.
Oh yeah,
How
Charlie.
surprised were you?
Who's that?
How surprised were you that we reintroduced Charlie in a different NPC role?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was. I was not expecting to see him in there.
Yeah.
I didn't think that was going to be the visitor. I was like, Twitch's mom showed up. This is it. This is our way out. And it was Charlie.
Yeah, I was kind of more expecting someone a little bit more closer to us, like the family that Dr. Alucard kept mentioning, and then it's just Charlie.
Maybe Charlie ends up being
Guys,
closer
come
to
on, we're
us
like
later
best
on.
friends.
We were criminals!
Coming in now.
But
You know, it's sad when even Jaska's like, I wouldn't say friends.
Again, it's another work of that little reworking of the story we know, and that now he's a part of this criminal activity that we did.
I just wanted to give you guys a reason for why you guys have gone crazy, to maybe make you question yourself of, okay, are we really this? Because that's the whole point of the Cuckoo's Nest.
Yeah.
You are constantly given feeds in the fantasy world that the real world isn't. And explains why you are having these delusions. So it was just, and I was like, I've got to introduce somebody else to kind of explain that. And in literature, you typically do not want to introduce someone the audience has never met before.
Right.
So it had to be somebody you had met already. And I'm like, I've already got the NPC sitting right here.
We came up with that.
Like right after
right
the
after
episode.
the first 2 episodes. You were like,
Nice.
Sweet.
Because Dad wanted it to run a little bit longer because I think you figured out like it was going to be a bit
It
short.
was going really fast.
Yeah, so I was like, what if we just do Charlie somehow in there? And I was like, okay.
Yeah, and I thought, okay, well, Charlie it could be a heist, and Charlie can have been, and you guys got poisoned, and that's why you guys are seeing stuff now. And again, it's that whole questioning yourself of whether or not you are really crazy, which of course, it's a little different. That's why when I was writing this, I was like, this is hard to do. Hard to do a Cuckoo's Nest in D&D.
With anthropomorphic.
With anything, because you already
Human form.
you already know the characters you created. So in a Cuckoo's Nest scenario of in television shows, usually again there is that sense of doubt. What is this person really? Maybe they have been crazy this time. Maybe they don't belong here in the fantasy world. Maybe this is really the real world for them. Here, y'all know your characters. We made them. We know who we are. So it's hard to do that suspension of disbelief thing. So I tried to add as much as I possibly could into that.
It was. There was also, I'm jumping around just a little bit, but back in the Commons room, whenever we were there, minus all the television jokes, it was really nice when Beatrix was like, well, this table seemed to actually be having a dedicated conversation. Like these people seem to all be talking to each other, so I'm going to go over there.
Yeah, rather than the woman at the window counting to 9.
We're just trying to solve a Sudoku puzzle.
What about these keys? Are they? Do you? You don't have to say what it is, but do you have a backstory hook secret with the keys, or are they just kind of a thing?
Well, I don't think it's really a secret because I think Beatrix explained that's how she seems to find herself going from where she is in the moment suddenly into some other place is when she has a new key in her hand.
Yeah.
And her apparent allergy problem kit.
Those were the funniest jokes.
I'm so glad
Oh my gosh, that was so
Drop those
funny.
keys.
Drop the keys.
So when she was first playing with those keys, those were not sound effects.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
these are
awesome.
my actual
Those were
keys.
her
I
actual-
rattled them in front of the.
Yeah. So we're gonna, and there's more that we can talk about with the keys and everything. We're running out of time here.
gosh.
For the short version
Spring
here.
forward.
15 minutes have gone up. If you want to hear the full version of this roundtable, we got more questions coming up from Andrew. We've still got to talk about the meeting with Dr. Alucard and then Johnny's episodes and the little Easter egg inside of those as
I'm
well.
so excited
so
about
cool.
that. I can't wait.
So much to talk about, but the only way you can hear that is by becoming a Patreon member right now. It's so very simple. You just go to patreon.com/reddirtdnd. Again, that's patreon.com/reddirtdnd. You join at the $5 level, you get this episode with the longer version. You get our regular episodes 4 days earlier, bonus content, access to our Discord server, which is blown up. Oh my gosh, there's so
You guys
many people.
are awesome.
Yeah, we're
So
just
fun.
constantly talking, and not just Red Dirt, but we're also talking, just throwing out D&D memes. We're talking about things that are going on. We're just having a blast, and it's just a great way to talk, especially with our people that we talk with on Plausible Deniability. And there are new shows coming up, and you can find out all of that from all of our cast and crew from those shows. They're also going to be on Discord, so you can talk to them. This is just a great reason to join. Patreon.com/reddirtdnd. We're going to head over to the long version of the roundtable right now.